That's right. Those are our big headlines. But our focus this afternoon and into the evening is on the big two states. The states of Jharkhand and Jammu and Kashmir. The last two states to have voted this time in a state election of 2014. That's going to be our big focus. We're going to have special guests, raise all the big questions and have the results of an exclusive poll, post-poll come exit poll that we've done. All the big numbers will be coming up in a short while from now. To take us through, Manisha Priyam is with us, senior academic and someone who knows Jharkhand and North India better than most people in the country. She will give us a sense of what she believes is happening on ground zero in Jharkhand. Javed Ansari, national editor here at Headlines Today. He will give us the big picture as well. Also, our correspondents are joining us from ground zero where voting has just concluded. I'm told that Shuja Ullah is joining us from Srinagar. Shuja, give us a sense. Polling has finally ended. In the last round, we've heard disturbing news of a Congress Sarpanch being shot dead. Has that cast some kind of a shadow, some kind of violent shadow over this last phase of polling in Jammu and Kashmir today?
Well, Rajdeep, yes, the last phase of this polling is over, and most of it was happening in Jammu division, where we are also standing right now. 20 assembly segments were going for polls, but this incident has taken place in Sopore, which has already seen its share of polling in the last phase. But having said that, this definitely, casts a shadow of doubt once again as far as the security scenario is concerned. Remember, security of punches and sarpanches has always been a very important issue. Most of the times, whenever these attacks happen, debates are triggered once again. How to ensure that these 30,000 odd people who are real representatives on the ground from panchayats are provided some sense of security, whether individual security to them is possible at all or not. But having pointed that out, today, what we've seen in those areas where polling has happened, it has been once again phenomenal. People have come out braving all odds, including the kind of unpleasant weather that has been happening since yesterday. People came out, most parts of these 20 assembly constituencies. Last figure that we were given out around 2 was more than 50% polling had already happened. And we still have the numbers for last 2 hours to be calculated. So clearly there has been a lot of enthusiasm in this phase as well, like we saw in the other phases in Jammu and Kashmir. This particular phase has also seen tremendous response from people who came out, queued up outside their polling booths and were waiting for their turns to cast their votes.
The fact is you are, of course, in Jammu at the moment, and Jammu is where the BJP is hoping to make the big gain. So clearly a high voter turnout may perhaps give the BJP confidence that they will be the beneficiaries.
Well, that's right. And in fact, the war cry that BJP had given out to its supporters of achieving Mission 44 plus is entirely dependent on this particular phase. These 20 assembly constituencies is where BJP predominantly derives its force. If we see how, the voter turnout had been in Lok Sabha elections, these are the areas where BJP was ahead of everyone else. So if they've been able to consolidate here, they will definitely be able to realize whether their dream of coming near 44 plus is viable or not.
Okay, it is, as you rightly said, a very important phase in Jammu and Kashmir. Javed Ansari, let's be clear. It almost seems as if there are 2 elections taking place there in Jammu and Kashmir. The election that takes place in the valley, which takes place under the shadow of the gun, where reassuringly first few rounds, good turnout, last few rounds, not so good turnout. But Jammu clearly today, 50% by 2 o'clock. So polling should go up to 65%, possibly even 70% and more. So is there a sense that the BJP is completely depending on this phase in Jammu to make a real impact in the context of Mission 44?
Well, there's no denying that. The BJP may not want to say it publicly, but the fact is that what is helping the BJP in Jammu is working against it in the valley. The BJP, before the election, spoke of Article 370, of revoking Article 370, spoke of Mission 44. And for the first time, this great upsurge that you see in numbers as far as voting is concerned in the valley is, I dare say, not so much an affirmation in the democratic process, So say people who know Kashmir better than most of us. But it also has a lot to do with the fact that people want to thwart the BJP from achieving Mission 44.
Okay, so some kind of reverse polarization possibly in the valley, but clearly Jammu is where the BJP is hoping to make major gains at the moment. We'll see how our polls really show that at the moment. But let's go also to Dumka in Jharkhand, because remember, polling has ended there. This is a Naxal affected area and polling has ended early because the Election Commission didn't want the polling to stretch into any kind of darkness in the winter. Rohit Singh is joining us there from Dumka. Rohit, give us a sense of what has happened on the ground in terms of polling numbers. These are traditionally areas again which call for a Naxal boycott. This time, has the Naxal boycott at all worked on the ground? Has there been decent polling?
Well, Rajdeep, there has been decent polling, and the numbers what we are getting at this point of time is around about 50 to 55% in all the 16 places where voting has taken place today. There was a call given by the Naxals to boycott elections, but that doesn't seem to have had any impact on the voters. They have come out in large numbers as they have done in all the 4 phases, and they have voted. And traditionally, this is the Santhal Pargana area, and this is the stronghold of the Sorens, that is Shibu Soren and Hemant Soren. And out of 16 seats, 9 at this point of time is being held by the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. So that speaks a lot about the strength of JMM in this area. And obviously BJP at this point of time has only 2 seats out of 16. So BJP will definitely like to make some sort of inroads into the Santhal Pargana area. Rajdeep.
So that's interesting. Again, Manisha Priyam, much like Jammu and Kashmir, perhaps not to the same extent. For the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha also, this last phase is critical. Even if they are to emerge as the leading opposition party, if they are to make an impact in this election, they need to win big today. The BJP, on the other hand, has believed that they're winning, they're doing well in almost every phase in Jharkhand. What's the sense you get about the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha? How critical and how different is this election in Jharkhand to previous elections?
This election is different in the sense that for the first time, the JMM seems to be going it alone. It's not playing the traditional politics that it's played since 1991, the traditional politics that has brought to the country the big name and the big shame of political corruption in electioneering and mustering majorities on the floor of the House. So this time it's a different election for the JMM. Hopefully, Hemant Soren from the family in charge, using the aura of his father, but also putting aside his sister-in-law, widow, to his brother who's no more, Durga Soren. So in a sense, fighting the internal battle, clearly leading the party with a young face. So you have a regional party here now, clearly leaving the erstwhile politics of allying somewhat with the Congress party, JMM going it alone and fighting a national party, the BJP. That battle is going to be sharply poised in this phase where the JMM has a stronghold and the BJP is trying to up the ante, looking at the JMM as its principal opponent on the ground.
In Jammu and Kashmir, Manisha, you had the separatists and militants giving a boycott call. It hasn't worked to the extent that they might have hoped for. Most areas have registered a higher turnout compared to 6 years ago in Jammu and Kashmir. In Jharkhand also, signs are that the voter turnout will be higher eventually. Are you getting a sense that the fact is this a reaffirmation in the democratic process? Is it the fact that the Naxals themselves are losing support? Or is it simply that people perhaps are voting for change, as many believe they are possibly in both Jharkhand and Jammu and Kashmir?
Yes, all of this true, but also the fact that on the ground, state capacities are tremendously enhanced and there is a neutral election commission that looks after the law and order situation. So it tells us many things about how the Naxal problem can in fact be solved. The Naxal boycott calls have been given, but both in the Lok Sabha and in the elections for the Vidhan Sabha, it seems that the better organized law and order machinery under the supervision of a neutral umpire called the Election Commission this time works better in Jharkhand itself. Therefore, as much as we hear about raw material pilferage, there's certainly a pilferage of the local police administration that somewhat creates a situation which is advantageous to the working of the Naxals. That door is closed at this point of time.
But it only happens in election. It's almost as if it requires an election for the state machinery to get that capacity to take on the Naxals. There's a story there and a lesson there perhaps for the state machinery. But clearly 2 states where the gun has played a role in the past. But this time, reassuringly, the voters have come out in reasonably large numbers in both Jammu and Kashmir and in Jharkhand. Who have they voted for? For that, you'll have to wait for the results of our exit cum post poll that are coming to you in what? Just about 15 minutes from now, we'll have the first findings from Jharkhand. This is where you're going to get all the big details of what is happening in Jammu and Kashmir and Jharkhand. Remember, polling has ended now. Long 5-phase poll in these two states which are extremely sensitive, which is why it required a lengthy poll. As per Election Commission rules, the polling ended at 4 o'clock. We can give the first results of our post-poll exit poll for Jharkhand coming up at 4:30. So that's in about 10 minutes from now. We can finally give you the numbers. We've done a post-poll, the India Today Cicero poll for Jharkhand. That's going to come up in about 10 minutes from now. I want to go to our correspondents to get a sense on the ground how the national parties are looking at this last big election of the year. I've got Brajesh Pandey at the BJP headquarters and Asher at the Congress headquarters. First to you, Brajesh, at the BJP headquarters, is there a sense that this is the year of the lotus, so nothing can stop our momentum?
Well, absolutely. I've just spoken to several senior leaders who have come for a function at 11 Ashoka Road, and the mood here among the BJP national leaders is extremely buoyant. They are 100% confident that they will get a majority in Jharkhand, and they are pretty hopeful that they will emerge as the largest party in J&K, which they feel in itself will be a very stupendous achievement as far as the BJP is concerned. Rajdeep?
Right. That's interesting that, for the BJP even, aspiring in this election to become the single largest party, as you're calling it, would be a huge achievement for this party. Asher, on the other hand, at the Congress, is there a look of resignation? They've given up on these elections. I'm just looking at the number of rallies. The Prime Minister did 12 rallies in Jammu and Kashmir, 8 in Jharkhand. Rahul Gandhi barely did half a dozen rallies. Is there a sense at the Congress headquarters, a sense of resignation?
Well, deep down, they have given up as far as these two states are concerned. But, the problem is that when senior leaders of the Congress party themselves say, at best, we'll be able to retain the number of seats we had last time round in Jammu and Kashmir, then there is certainly a problem. As far as Jharkhand is concerned, apart from Subodh Kant Sahai, the Congress has not been able to put up a face. So clearly, in both these states, the Congress not very comfortable as of now.
Congress not very comfortable. Javed, is there a sense, you've been tracking the Congress for years, is this 2014 just a year which they've written off? That they still haven't recovered from what happened to them in the general election? They're still sort of suffering from that sort of sense of defeatism.
Well, without doubt, if...
Sonia Gandhi, I believe, didn't even do a single rally this time in Jharkhand.
Yes, partly due to health reasons as well.
Yes.
She did some in J&K, but she did. But the fact is that, after the 2014 May elections, everybody knew, most congressmen also knew that they have a mountain to climb. The tragedy is they haven't even begun climbing it. And if they don't start, God knows when, just hoping that these are times that will blow over and suddenly things will change is not going to happen. You can keep imagining that Mr. Modi is getting unpopular and he's not able to pass this bill and prices have begun to fluctuate. All that is not going to happen. They need to start doing something on the ground. And right now, there is no evidence to suggest that even that preliminary work has begun.
Even the preliminary work hasn't begun.
No, there's nothing to suggest.
It's interesting how this is playing out at the moment, because, you would have thought these were two states where the Congress was in power, sharing power with the JMM in Jharkhand, with the National Conference in Kashmir, that the Congress would pay more attention. The BJP, on the other hand, seems to be taking its agenda of a Congress Mukt Bharat extremely seriously. The Prime Minister has gone and invested as much as I said, 12 rallies in Jammu and Kashmir, 8 in Jharkhand.
Just to add to the dialogue that you've had on the Congress party itself, well, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi is not campaigned, but largely due to health reasons. Rahul Gandhi has campaigned extensively in Jharkhand. What was missing when he was there for the rallies was the second-rung leadership, the top leadership of the Congress, not behind him. A Jairam Ramesh who could be seen on Ranchi airports every day till the poll bugle in May, because there was President's rule and all of Operation Saranda was something that he was literally guiding all of the activities of the Forest Act. Now, that leadership was not to be seen.
Are you talking about the Jairam Ramesh's, also the Subodh Kant Sahais and the local level leadership?
Therefore, Rahul Gandhi is seen conferring only with a Subodh Kant Sahai. Now, what credibility would the Congress leader have where Modi's campaign was not even against the Congress's first family in Jharkhand? It was only about the coal gate. And when he spoke of the dynasty on Jharkhand land, he was basically talking to the JMM. So this time Mr. Modi was not even talking to the Congress party, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi looked rather alone in all the Jharkhand rallies that he did his top leadership of his party, all the leaders who've invested so much time in the state in the last 4 to 5 years were not to be seen behind him. So I think more stories there. Does the top leadership of the Congress party have its faith in Rahul Gandhi as a face? I mean, that's the question that the people would be asking.
So what is the best case scenario for the Congress? Is the best case scenario for the Congress that perhaps at least in Jammu and Kashmir we can have some kind of a power sharing arrangement with whoever is the top, is the leading party of the valley, whether it's PDP or National Conference? Is that all that they are aiming for in this election? Somewhere cut our losses. They've given up almost on Jharkhand.
They'd be pleased with themselves if they are able to be a part of a government, provide support to whoever forms the government. Having said that, I must say that Ghulam Nabi Azad did strive manfully. He worked against a lot of odds. Let's not also forget that the Congress was a part of the government till not very long ago. Therefore, they carry a lot of the anti-incumbency. They carry a lot of the blame for all that went wrong during the...
But again, Ghulam Nabi Azad focusing in areas where he's been traditionally strong.
Yeah,
I mean, the Congress hasn't taken this as a challenge. That's all it almost seems that they've resigned themselves to the fact that they're not going to form the government at the moment in Jharkhand, and at best they will be a junior partner in Jammu and Kashmir.
I think the focus was more in Jammu and Kashmir, where they hope that the BJP will be limited in Jammu and Kashmir, and in the valley, whoever wins, the Congress will then be able to. If you ask congressmen, they say that we will surprise you. We will be in double digits, and nobody will get a clear majority. Whoever forms the government will willy-nilly have to come to us. Whether that happens or not, we'll only know on the 23rd. But that's the best case scenario that the Congress is hoping for.
Okay, so clearly it is about the BJP in a sense. Can the BJP achieve mission 44 in Jammu and Kashmir? And can the BJP become the first government since the state of Jharkhand was formed in 2000 to actually have a majority government in the state?